A movie review about a mother trying to cure her daughter with my daughter.
Hi, Mom.
Welcome back to my channel. It's Tyra here with another struggle review. Today we will be discussing Run. 2020's Run. Because once I went to look for Run, especially on Hulu, a whole show popped up. But anyway, today I'm going to be reviewing this movie with my daughter, Alasia, or more specifically, my Pud. Say hi, Pud.
Hi.
But before we get into how we felt about Run and what we took away from the film, I need you guys to drop down and like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to give you guys a moment to do that, and then we're going to come back and discuss all things Run is a 2020 film available on Hulu. It stars Sarah Paulson. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, if you haven't seen it, go watch, my Ratchet reviews. You already know how I feel about Miss Sarah Paulson. Do I still feel that same way about her and her acting in this film? We'll discuss it later. But to start, we are hit with a small, clearly premature baby and a list of illnesses. Then we cut to a support group for children who are going away to college, and parents are very emotional. We see tissues being passed up until we get to Miss Sarah Paulson, the mom character, and she seems all too ready for her child to go to college. Now, granted, we are made to understand that not only is her child in a wheelchair and has all these illnesses that were listed beforehand, but she seems, ready for her to go, and she's going to do so great and doesn't seem to have a care in the world. But with her saying all those positive things, you still see an ounce of resentment in her saying, her giving up her 17 years. But as the movie started, I couldn't help but reference and think of a movie that's already available on Hulu, The Act. Did you see The Act?
Yes, I did. And what I felt was it was actually kind of a knockoff of The Act, because she had a whole bunch of illness and The Act had a whole bunch of illness because of the girls. And the only difference was that it wasn't her daughter. In The Act, it was her real daughter. But I felt like it was a knockoff because it was basically the same movie. It was just basically different names.
Mm-hmm. Now, The Act is, based on a true story. And this is a movie. But you couldn't help but get that reference. Even from the trailer, a lot of people got that. But we get into the movie and we see, even though Chloe may be all these things, with her illnesses, because we are hit with a long list of her illnesses, not only, from the beginning, but we see them as soon as she wakes up and that alarm goes off. She has a routine of, her daily medications. She's homeschooled. There's, hits from the asthma pump. There's, not only the wheelchair, but there's, her diabetes. She has to take a shot, and she has, the inhaler. Life has not been easy for Chloe, but Chloe wants to go to college, and that is her main focus. Now, with this movie, immediately, as soon as it started and she had her hands on that glass, what did I say, Put?
You said, because the doctors, when she asked the doctors if she was going to make it, the doctors didn't reply. So once the movie went to the next shot, she said that's not her real daughter. It's not.
Which means I felt like this movie was very predictable. I should not have been able, it's a movie, but you take what you can, but I shouldn't be able to clock what your movie is going to be about 10 minutes in. Like, it could have still been, I wish there was some allure there so it wasn't given away. But the crazy, because you know Sarah Paulson does that crazy so well, is given immediately. Now, speaking of that, even though, you know, her daughter is college bound and we see, you know, she's very eager because we see right away that she's very smart. But every time that mailbox, you know, is getting filled and the mailman comes, the mama was right there. Did you see her? She was right there. She was right there every single time. And she kept saying to her,
whenever your letter comes in, you will be the first one to open it. She said that a whole bunch of times.
Yes, she did. If it's, you know, a college, I'll make sure you open it. I'm not going to open it. But we see her gunning for that mailbox every single time the mailman comes. I wish that we got some build up, because even though that we are, you know, comparing this to the Act series, there was so much build up for Gypsy and her mom's character. We saw her growing and we saw her, you know, becoming with age. We got some backstory. Here we didn't get any backstory. We just got, boom, 17 years later. I wish we would have gotten, you know, shots of her as a little girl, shots of the mom, you know, making her endure, you know, different things that weren't healthy, and her implementing things that she, you know, knew throughout the years. You know, maybe that's not right. I know you're my mom. I know, you know, we're meant to love each other, but I'm questioning your behavior. For her to just literally wake up and instantly question her mom and, you know, start, you know, having certain, you know, discomfort only because she found
a bottle of pills in a Kroger's grocery bag.
Kroger's, you was paying attention, huh?
Yes, because she was aiming for some chocolates that helped her with her diabetes. She knows she wasn't supposed to have them, but she went and got them anyway. That's when she found a bottle of pills with her mother's name on them.
Yes, and it was just not as believable that that would be the first inkling in 17 years that, you know, maybe my mom isn't quite right. But she sees the name and she's, you know, she asks her mom about it, and she's asking questions. You know, well, why am I having just take it? Well, I said, yeah, it's the receipt. Like, if she couldn't give her any other explanation, like the girl may be 17 and homebound, but we know what a receipt looks like. It's not a damn receipt, it's your name on it. So though Chloe is a hopeful college-bound teenager, she has clearly been set up, you know, in this routine with her mom. And this has been her only world. As well as her mom. Her mom clearly has some attachment issues and wants to keep a ring around her daughter. Even though she is 17, she doesn't even own a cell phone or have her own laptop. She's limited access to the internet, and, you know, she's only supposed to get on there, you know, for school purposes. But once she's alarmed and have second guesses about this pill bottle, no, back to this mom. Now, Sarah Paulson, you immediately saw the cycle of it all when she snuck downstairs to watch home videos of her daughter. Right there, I was like, she's crazy.
Yes.
She's crazy.
Because whenever, you know, in movies, whenever the parent, like, sneaks down to watch, like, old videos of their child when they were small, you know that they love their child. But she automatically had, like, suspicion around her. And when I saw her, like, sneak down to watch those videos, I was like, okay.
Okay. But it's too late. Once the daughter, you know, reveals that the pill bottle, like, you could have at least made it, like, I think would have made more sense, you know, if she would have left her name on there. Like, she saw the name. You can't go back now and put her name on the prescription bottle. But she replaces it, and this, you know, is the final nail in the coffin to alarm the daughter. But she, we see her struggling, which was so funny because it speaks to us, you know, about how we use technology. What would we do if we didn't have these things? Because she, you know, knows the name. Well, no, she doesn't even know. She's trying to figure out what this pill is because she knows it's not hers. She's trying to figure out the name. And we see her, because she knows she doesn't have a cell phone, she tries to sneak downstairs to look it up on the internet because she tried to ask her mom, no help. She's trying to deflect. But she's going down, you know, in her chair, rolling her way to the desktop computer, and we see something in the back.
So basically, it was her mom. Like, you know, like the lady's automatically crazy when you see her in the dark sitting there. I think she had like a bottle of wine back there too. She was in the dark just sitting there.
You ain't see no wine.
It looked like it.
She didn't see no wine.
She was in the back. She was in the back
just go get a lady some
there.
wine. Though she was drinking a lot in this movie, like every little shot she had a glass of wine. We didn't see nothing but this. How you gonna say she had some wine?
It was blurry, but she was back there just sitting there. She stood there, didn't make a peep, just sitting there.
She did. She just sat there, and just when we think that, you know, because we know, the viewer, we know that this, you know, possibly isn't her mom and something's wrong. And just when we think, you know, she may get an inkling to what I thought was right, this isn't, you know, this certain medication, the internet is down. And now that we see, you know, mom sitting there, we already know that it was her. I like her sitting there. It was, you know, adding some creep factor to the film, but that already led way to she was hiding something. We didn't have time to really play the guessing game with this movie. They gave it all away right in the beginning. So we knew that most likely she could access to. Oh, now that Chloe has, you know, she has no internet access, no cell phone, had to call for sneak. That was like a really, I like, if the movie has one thing going for it, it's the intensity in some scenes when you're with the daughter and you're, you know, you feeling for her, like, you know, you're like, girl, hurry up, she's coming. Because she, you know, out there watering that beautiful garden. Like, I just knew that that garden was going to have some plot in the story. But I was like, you know, maybe because we kept seeing her cook all of these vegetables. I thought maybe she was putting something in the food to, you know, harm her daughter or keep her in a certain condition, but that was never confirmed. But she's trying, she's had to call 411 just to get the name of the pill. But she's still not getting anything from her mom. So she asks, you know, hey mom, you know, can we go to the movies? And this was just a plot just for her to get to the pharmacy across the street. Now, the way that, you know, she was trying to get more information about the prescription, I just didn't feel like her only option was to, you know, go to the pharmacy. She had already tried to call the pharmacy beforehand, and, you know, she kind of disrupted her, like, hey, is this Chloe? And she hung up because she knew, you know, she didn't quite have an ally there. But she had all those people there. I was like, can't you just ask somebody to look it up on their cell phone? Like, this is a world of technology. Your only choice was to take all that time, go all the way, roll, and I love the intensity of it, but I just felt like she could have just asked someone, you know, to look that up for her. That way she could have found out what it was. What'd you think?
I thought it would have been way easier because she had to roll through some people to get to the pharmacy. Right. So I feel like she could have probably stopped.
She had to work her way up to the line.
Yes, I could have thought that she could have asked, like, you think that you might be able to, like, use your cell phone so you can look up something for me, please? Mm-hmm. But no, she worked her way up to the line, asked the lady to look up the pill. She was like, well, Chloe, I can look up the pill for you as long as it's in your name. Then she stopped and paused. Well, it's not in my name, it's in my mother's. So she was like, I'm sorry I couldn't help you and stuff like that. So
look at my baby watching the movie.
When she finally was able to, like, tell her what it is, she had to convince her, like, she looked around for, like, to see what she could do.
So she made the plot to say that, you know, it's, you know, a escape room type of game. It's a scavenger hunt. I need this information. And she still didn't want to give it to her. But when she actually looked it up, mom didn't have any of these things in her name. They were actually in an animal's name. And we find out that this entire time
she was giving her dog pills.
You know how sick you gotta be to give somebody dog pills? And she's, you know, made to know that this can cause, you know, anything, you know, from which we've seen her, you know, being really sick and nausea and all these things, along with her losing feeling and, you know, capability in her legs. Now, this is where
we find out that the pills, what was the thing that was
not that put. This is where I was like, in 17 years, she's had no memory of walking. Because I could have bought that, you know, she was always, you know, wheelchair bound, but in all that time, I don't know if she did something, and it ties in later in the story. We're going to talk about that. But I just didn't believe that was the only moment that she was, something's, you know, being purposely done to my legs. I could walk like nothing ever happened. I like, you know, to know more about that. But, you know, she rushes in. I like how she knew where she was immediately. But because, and later we see things with her. Like we do see that she does stop taking all of those, you know, those pills, all those medications. But she runs in, and I like how they didn't take, because, you know, being handicapped and being, you know, wheelchair bound is nothing to laugh at. But I like how she used that to her advantage. Like, hey, can you let me in front? I'm in a wheelchair. That was silly. But mom rushes in and, you know, stabs her in the leg. What do you think she was giving her in her leg?
Probably like, you know, like something that was gonna like knock her out or something, like some melatonin or something like that. So
some melatonin for it.
Yeah, she probably like stuck that in her leg and she went to sleep. Cause when she woke up, that's when she woke up and
was in that room.
Yes.
And this is when the movie gets really good. Despite everything I thought before, this is where it got really good for me. And I felt like we were in there with her in that intense moment. And we see how far removed her mom is. Because even though she is all this crazy, she's been her mom for almost 20 years. But immediately at that moment, she's on, you know, the defense mode. We see her, you know, call the pharmacist, and she's trying to, well, could you just tell her? And like, lady, you're making it worse. This woman probably wasn't even worried about you, and you're calling, trying to backtrack. But it's too late. This young lady is not a little girl anymore. She's not going to believe every little thing you tell her. Oh, well, this is just that and this. She was not here for it. And she intensified it by not only knocking her out with the melatonin. And she, you know, locks her in her room from the outside in. Now, it gets really good here, and you see more of her brains come into play because, you know, she's building something that looks like some type of animatronic things. We see she's making a hand to, you know, grab things. Very smart. She connects extension cords, and me and my baby, we were sitting there for the lungs like, what is she doing? Why does she have water in her mouth? Like, what? But it was good.
Yes.
It was good.
She put the water in the mouth. So she broke a window. Then
first she put
No, she started climbing on the roof to get to her mom's room. So she connected all the extension cords together, pulled it, kept on pulled. She also had a blanket, so me and my mom were very curious. So she had that water in her mouth, using all her upper body strength to get to her mom's room. We were still like, what is she doing? So when she finally got there, she used like this little hot comb or something that was plugged into the
hot comb.
Yes, I don't know what it was, but she used it and she put it on the window, then threw it, then she spit on the window, then the window broke. That's immediately when we knew her mom wasn't there because the window broke. So then,
well, she knew she wasn't there at first because she was trying to look out and she didn't see her car. But as soon as she, you know, she drapes it, it was very smart of her because I didn't think that there was any way out of that situation. Now she gets all the way in and she starts to have an asthma attack. And it's very intense. Like the intense scenes in the movie, they really work. And they're really good here. I wish we got, you know, more of it, but I understand the pacing. It was really good. We were, you know, gripping with her like, oh my God, I hope she gets to that asthma pump. It reminded me of, oh gosh, I feel so old. Anybody remember The Hand That Rocks the Cradle with the crazy white woman? And, you know, she was trying to take the baby and the husband and the wife had terrible asthma and she was... That's what that reminded me of, her and that asthma pump. But she gets there and, you know, she, you know, subdues that asthma.
And she also sees that her mother cut the phone line. She also sees that.
She did.
So she basically wasted all her time.
Before the mom even left the house, she looked up household neurotoxins. And I was like, whoa, like you're really willing to severely damage her even more. Household neurotoxins? We see where that went. But she gets in her chair because There's no coming back from this. Like, you lock me in the room. You have me taking dog medicine to make me sick and subdue my legs. Like, I'm getting the hell out of here. She gets in the wheelchair, and
like her little escalator or something to go up and down, it's broken. She looks over, she sees her mom cut the little power source or something that was for it. So she keeps on pushing her button.
It's not working.
No.
So she pushes the wheelchair down. Now at this point, I understood the intensity of wanting to get out of there, but her throwing her body down those steps, that was so dangerous. That was so dangerous.
She didn't throw her body down them. She actually, the little lever that's for her wheelchair fell down, so she rolled down the stairs.
My bad, Pud.
She rolled down the stairs, and then that's when she...
I thought maybe I had my head down. I thought she threw her body down there, like, if I make it, I'll make it.
No. The thing broke. She was actually going to try to climb down. Yes, but no, the thing just collapsed. And then that's when she was laying down for a second.
Maybe my head down and I was taking notes. My bad.
That's when she was, like, so much in pain, and then she
realized she can move that foot.
Yeah, she
so between her stopping, the medication, and her, like, throwing her, accidentally rolling down the stairs, she that shock, I think it woke up her body. But we see how, I was like, damn, she looked like the Terminator, how she got up, threw herself in the chair, and, like, throwed everything back into place. I was like, all right, we're trying to get out of there, because our mom is crazy. But she wills herself all the way out, and we see that she's on the way back with these household neurotoxins. That's sick. And the mailman's coming. And, she stops him and tells him what happened. I really love this scene because you don't get enough of this in movies or in real life. People, stand-byers helping. He could have so easily, especially, with her, however long she's been in that house, however many years, got her all docile out, away from everybody, no friends. So, that lady been plotting that all her life. He did not believe her story. I like that he didn't surrender and just leave her there or just give her back to her mom. Just off the strength of, well, how long do you know me? I could call the police. That mailman was like, no, you can meet us at the hospital or the police station, but I'm not giving her back to you. She's hurt. I really like that, and we need more of that in movies and in real life. Don't always take someone else's words, and when someone here is hurt and asking you for help in need, he stopped and he helped her, and I loved it.
So that's when she opens up her trunk to get the needle so she can go stab the mailman. So she stabs the mailman, and then her daughter starts breathing really hard because she's scared. So when the next scene comes, we're in the basement.
It was so sad to see her go back in that house after we sat and struggled with her to get out of there. She had to go right back in there. And we see how far gone she is. She's willing to murder the mailman. Like, this lady's playing no games. But this is where I was like, okay, like, we could have at least made her look for these things. Everything she ever needed to know is right in front of her in this basement. Which I was waiting because, she was way too brilliant not to even get one response from any of these colleges. But they're all there, and you see all these, the congratulations and that, as we already knew, because they put everything in our face immediately when the movie started. She was accepted to all these colleges. Not only are these things down here, but there's a whole box sitting right out in the open with Diane on it and everything she would ever need to know about her mom. We see the birth certificate, and we see all these things, and we're immediately aware that the daughter that she did have in the beginning did in fact die. Who already knew that?
You.
Me. And this is when I was like, okay, because we do see a younger picture of her, and she realizes, that she was walking. And I was like, you have no memory at all. Like, how long has she been doing this? Which, it would have been so great to get some backstory.
Yes, because that's when she pulls out this picture of her. First, it's covering up her legs. It says her name and the date. And then that's when she takes off the sticky note and she sees she's walking. So she thinks like, I was walking. Yes, like I was walking.
But not only that, not only do we have letters and birth certificates and dates and death certificates and this and that, but you see a whole clipping from a newspaper of parents crying and their child has been abducted. I'm not gonna try to say that word again. She was taken, right? And everything, I was like, it's so convenient. Everything is just right in that box, huh? I didn't like, let's make her look for it. Like, it's just sitting there. But she finds out, you know, everything she ever wanted to know about her mom and her mom's true character, as if we didn't already know that with her giving her that damn dog medicine. But she knows for sure this is not my mom. Now, she comes down into the basement, and I like that she didn't give up. Throughout this entire movie, when she did have her revelation that, you know, my mom's a little off, she did not give up. She stayed true to, no, this is for you. This is not for me. You're not my mom. And then the crazy pops off.
So, yeah, she was like, so she gets close to her. You know, we can just forget all this ever happened and start over. Crazy. That's when she, like, sits her bag down of everything.
So, neurotoxins.
Yes.
Say when we say neurotoxins.
Neurotoxins. And she sits the bag down, and when the daughter disagrees that we're not gonna, like, lady, you gave me dog medicine. That's when she was like, no. That's when she pulled out a bottle of, like,
paint thinner. You're gonna put some paint thinner and whatever else mixture and inject it into your daughter's legs. Crazy. And we see just how she was not willing to give up because she knew, if you inject me with this, I'm never getting out of this house. So her best bet was to get to a hospital. And she tells her, she locks herself in the closet and says, you know, you need me, and swallows this, you know, this toxic chemical. And she has no choice but to call the ambulance and get her some help. She's like, I'm going to take this moment.
Yes, because on the bottle it said, if comes in like contact with any part of your body or something, call 911 immediately. Mm-hmm. So she drinks the whole bottle, and then she like,
it's not the whole bottle, she took like a sip.
Well, but then that's when she like, black stuff start coming out of her mouth.
Blood, baby.
It was black.
It was blood.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's when she like stopped like throwing up blood and stuff. Mm-hmm. So
that's what happens when if you swallow things you shouldn't. It messes with your inside, and then it's blood. Blood's gonna come out. But as soon as she gets there and she wakes up, I like how the mom, no matter what, she was like 10 steps ahead. She had no feelings to let this girl go. She wanted to keep her. So every move she thought she was making, she was 10 steps ahead. Like, ooh, I know she's at the pharmacy. Let me get these neurotoxins. Let me get this. Let me get that. She wanted to keep that little girl stifled. Like,
yes, and that's when the doctors actually started getting suspicious. Mm-hmm. He has his clipboard. Well,
I at least like how in the act, you remember the doctors, they kept asking her all these questions, and we had a doctor who was, you know, very suspicious. Like, this lady was able to do this for 17 years and no one caught it. She's had all these doctors, all these questionable prescriptions. She's been out,
yes, that's
separated for however long. But even though they are alarming and, well, hey, what's this? She is standing there because she knows, like, as soon as she wakes up and she tries to get in contact with a doctor or a nurse, she's going to talk to them. Let me be ahead of her. She's trying. I was rooting for her at this point. I love those moments with the daughter. Those were the best moments in the film. We were rooting for her, like, girl, please let her write. Give her a pen. Let her get something. She gives her a crayon, and she manages to write mom. But as she's writing it, whole alarms go off in the hospital.
Yes, because the mom, she was looking suspicious. She was like, I'm getting you out of here. And then she, like, basically walked
We're going home.
Yes, she walked off.
Rolled. She got her out of there like crazy. The way that we see, you know, the whole play of the her actual baby dying and her going and, you know, stealing the baby, like, and I like how the story kind of came full circle. They started in the hospital with her taking her, and we ended in the hospital with her trying to take her yet again. But they're alarmed this time. They're alert. She even goes so far as she has a gun. Like, who you gonna shoot? You really just gonna kill everybody just to take this girl?
Yeah, I was kind of suspicious because if she was gonna have a baby, was she was gonna do all of this to the baby, or was like something always gonna be wrong with her baby?
She wanted her always to be her daughter, but with her trying to keep her, I guess she felt like I don't know if she made her sick because she wanted to keep her, or if she did. I think she did those things because we see right after the movie comes on, we see the premature baby and we see the list. I think those are all the things that would have been wrong with her baby, and she made those wrong with the girl after because in that picture she looked really healthy. But she's making her way out and saying her spew. I want to get into Sarah Paulson now, which was the mom. Here, she worked for me. Yes, I said it. Sarah Paulson worked for me here. It wasn't, she was, her character act herself, but it wasn't so over the top that it brought me out of the story or made me uncomfortable. I think we got just enough of her intensity and her strangeness and her freakiness. It worked here. I liked her here. We really felt her crazy passion for wanting that daughter to stay there. But she's escaping and she's getting out, and just when we think she's about to get out, there's no wheelchair access for her to get down that escalator. And she's, stifling because she sees, her courage. Because all she was worried about, I just want to get to college. I just wanted to get away. That's all she ever wanted to do. And it gives her the strength to stop the wheelchair with her foot.
Yeah, because the mom was trying to push you. She's like, something must be wrong with your wheelchair. Mm-hmm. She looks down. Her feet are off the little wheelchair paddles. And she's like, I don't need you. So that's...
Say it again, please.
She says, I don't need you.
No, say it how you said it the first. Say it real intense.
Don't need you.
Say it in the camera.
I don't need you. so that's when she falls down, falls back.
Mm-hmm. And thankfully, yes. I was like, Lord, how far are you gonna let this lady make it out the hospital? But the people come, and of course she raises her gun and they shoot her, and she falls down the stairs.
She says, "We're going home." That's shoots her shoulder.
Shoot her. Now, this is when I was almost like, are you serious? Because we see 7 years later, I was like, yes. Damn, okay, so what's going on here? We see, we get, a Joe visit in the infirmary, and I'm like, no, she is not still going to see this woman with everything she puts her through. She still considers her mom. This is different. This is a little strange.
Yes.
But, dun dun dun.
We get in her room, and she says, Mom, I love you. Her little speech.
We see all this good stuff. We're like, she still considers her mom?
Yes.
But I think they aged her too much for it to just be 7 years. She damn near looked like the Crypt Keeper. I was like, damn, all right, Sarah Paulson. Compared to how she looked before, she looks so old for 7 years. But as we think that, she's still considering her mom, and it's becoming a weird situation. And we see the wedding ring, so we see that she's married and she's talking about her children and her working, in hospital and her husband and all these great things. Then we realize she's not there for that. She's there to rub it in her face how great her life is, and she's also giving her
the dog pills.
Those same pills.
Like payback or something.
Yes.
Because, she has to get a full body down. She opens up her mouth and gives her the pills.
Time to take your medicine, Mom.
Yes.
I was like, all right, that's different. I can mess with the ending. I thought the ending was really good. I wasn't expecting that. Me too. I wasn't expecting that. Would I recommend this movie? I will. I would, rating this movie, I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Yes, 7.
It was good, but it was, at times very, very predictable. I felt like it was a little rushed. I felt like we should have gotten a little more with the mother-daughter relationship. How do you feel about the movie? What's your rating?
I'll give it a 7 because it was a really good movie. It was just some parts that they needed to work on a little bit more. Because when I watched the movie, I was excited. Mm-hmm. I'm not disappointed that I'm not disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Do you recommend that they watch the movie?
I do. Mm-hmm. I do. Y'all might like it. But I really did like the movie. Honestly, I wonder what happens. I wonder if her mother ever dies or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you want a part 2?
I do.
So she liked the movie. If you guys have watched this movie on Hulu, please drop down and, tell us how you felt about the movie, or tell me how well my baby did with this review. She did so good, y'all. Mommy, can I just do a review with you, please? This is her first one. I think she did an awesome job. But drop down and let us know your favorite scenes. Drop down and let us know how you felt about the movie. Thank you, guys. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Tell them, baby, tell them to subscribe to my channel.
Subscribe to my mother's channel.
Thank you guys for watching my video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.